Starting out being very misty. But look at this beautiful breakfast. Look at the honey. I think it's going to turn out to be great. This is my morning escort. Hi, Pucci. I think that's Maria.
That is a official way to demonstrate that you enter. Because the Argentinian bus has no restroom. And it can be called the hope. La Esperanza, right? That's the name of the town. La Esperanza, but I don't know.
The name doesn't go with it.
There's a name. I think the workers for all the thing is the same people. The policemen, everything is the same. But it's the...
I missed that. I missed it on video.
But it's the place to stop. There's nothing else. Nothing around. Nothing in like 400 miles. So we have to go to that place. You see?
What was it? The police station?
Well, and,
something
after we cross the border to the Argentinian side, you will see it's totally different. The landscape changes like in a dramatic way. There will be emptiness and vastness. But you know, it has its own beauty. It's still very beautiful, and I am sure that today your concept of vastness will be changed, for sure. It's an incredible landscape. One could say, but there's nothing, and it's not that. It's full of life and pleasant beauty, and even the clouds are different when we cross the border for some reason. So you'll see. Is it going to be a long day? Yes, sure, but beautiful day, divided in more reasonable legs, let's say. If we could take a cow with us, they don't care because they're going out of Chile, right? So they don't care.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I love that cloud, the way it's hanging over.
I don't know what I had for breakfast today, but it was a happy morning for me. And so it's going to be a simple procedure for this morning, right? To take it easy and to
we're going to take a different...
Just like a flight anyway, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a different route.
So should be around 11:45 to 12. That's the time we should be sitting down to eat. The chicken soup you're going to have was voted as the most traditional dish for us. It's served on a clay pot. Never a regular dish. Never. It shouldn't be served like that. And it has corn, green beans, it has squash. It's a mixture of stuff. Rice. But very traditional, very simple. Very simple. But it's like the kind of stuff perfect for this kind of day. Cloudy days, cold days. You know, they kind of make you want a chicken soup. Right? So you'll see. It's very nice. Very nice.
What's the name of it?
What's the name of this dish? Well, we are not very original. It's called cazuela de pollo. Chicken soup. Cazuela. Cazuela we call it. Right?
Cazuela is like the container, like a casserole. It's the dish that it's served in, I guess.
Buenos días. So I think now we can say again how lucky we are. Because what's happening right now is the normal thing. That we have guests that come here and they see the horns for 10 minutes. The towers are hardly ever visible. Wow. So much so that you don't find a lot of photographs of the towers in the park itself because we don't want to give false hopes to anybody. I found this and I wanted to share with you because we always celebrate light and sunrise and days with without clouds. But this is about shadows. Okay, so it says, shadow is the obstruction of light. Shadows appear to me to be of supreme importance in perspective, because without them, opaque and solid bodies will be ill-defined. That which is contained within their outlines and their boundaries themselves will be ill-understood unless they are shown against a background of a different tone from themselves. And therefore, in my first proposition concerning shadow, I state that every opaque body is surrounded and its whole surface enveloped in shadow and light. On this proposition I build up the first book. Besides, these shadows have in themselves various degrees of darkness, because they are caused by the absence of a variable amount of luminous rays. And these I call primary shadows, because they are the first and inseparable from the object to which they belong. And on this I will found my second book, Leonardo da Vinci. The thing that allows us to have perspective is darkness. Without shadows, we don't see anything else, because light is the thing that surrounds darkness. Without a day like today, we don't have a full perspective of the beauty that we have experienced. Today is the day that allows all the light that we have shared together to have a context. So we're going to celebrate this day also. Do you agree?
Yes.
And if you don't, I can run a Southern American dictatorship. Fully closer to the rivers and the mountains. And by the way, and then again, I just want to tell you this, we can use all of our eyes. Before I explain the question about recycling, nocturnal. And one defines nocturnal, that you are stimulated by the lack of light. We produce hormones in light, right? Cortisol, first hours in the morning, and we are activated. There's a certain amount of cortisol that we need, and then we need other hormones. But that makes us diurnal. Pumas are stimulated by darkness and days like this. And what happens to them is that they ate all through the night. They are drowsy, but there are more chances for them to be a little more active when it's not too sunny. And the exit that we are choosing to leave the park is an area where pumas have been seen at this time of the day, waking up and looking around and saying, I don't remember what happened last night. I'm embarrassed. Like that. We've seen that. And they look, and in the video, that I don't know if you noticed at the hotel, there was this video that they keep showing and showing and showing, and they show a puma looking at the camera like this, like, oh, and then going back to sleep. So,
I didn't see that.
We'll let you know when we get there, so we can all use our eyes. Talking about shadows and reflections, the river is just a dream today. Paine today is, I would say, more on the green side than turquoise. And that's Paine. Paine is a word of the natives. Paine is a word that the Mapuches gave to the Onikenk. The Onikenk are the tribes that Magellan saw in the 1520s. And Paine is a light shade of blue, a turquoise, an emerald. Beautiful reflection, beautiful, gorgeous. Qué lindo.
Hermoso. Aquí estaba pensando si tuviera, que no se vean las montañas arriba, pero desde si se ve así más o menos.
That would make it gorgeous.
Estaba pensando en otros miradores que hemos visto. El mirador
No sé si vamos apretando o bailando.
It looks almost like a different place.
Más que lo que vi, pensaba solo en la cultura. Es eso. Bueno, sí. La laguna seca. La laguna seca de
She was telling us about the program that they have here in Chile, where women in prison are trained to do recycling. And the company actually, after they get released, they give them a job. Isn't that wonderful? Instead of using the name Patagonia, which is so overused, they called it Pure Wind. Oh, look at that. That's where we were yesterday.
So this is a photo stop that we did not do, and from here you have a different perspective of the waterfall. So what we want to do, we want to stop the bus, and we want to go ahead and cross the road carefully, and from there you can take a different picture of the falls where we hiked yesterday.
How dusty. Skunk, Chilean skunk, but we cannot find it. This is about the threat of fire. No, it is not. 99.9? Wow. Human caused by humans. It's so nice. They always salute each other. Oh, the dust storm is coming. Oh, they were nice. Not much. The most interesting pieces of driftwood. My sister would love them.
Maybe when you guys speak, you can have a turn.
The first fire, that the ones that have been the largest for us, they started in 2005. And when they started, I was taking a family from France to the base of the towers, so I can really remember the flames from afar, because where we hiked the first day in the morning, it's not too far from the area where the fire started that year. And you can see the towers, right? Remember? The granite towers. And so from the towers, we can see that area where the fire began. Anyways, this is a guy from Czechoslovakia. That is not important. This is a guy that is camping solo. And in 2005, and since we don't have natural fires, we're never really that concerned about fire accidents. So we have a few guys that patrol, but nothing ever happened. So until it happened, you know. So he is on this. He wants to go McCandless Alaska style, into the wild kind of thing. 2005, and this is January 2005. And he goes to the Blue Lagoon, where we have picnic area, not camping area. It was extremely windy. This day was about 90 kilometers an hour of wind, and it's normal. January 100, 120, 117 kilometers an hour of wind is the norm. It has to happen. So very windy, and he wants to use his gas stove at ground level, but it's so windy that he can't, so he sets his tent in a place where the rangers cannot see him because this is a picnic area. So he goes and hides, sets the tent, takes the gas stove inside to cook. He cannot handle whatever he's doing. The gas stove falls on the tent and the tent caught fire quickly. Maybe there was a leak of gas, I don't know, we don't know exactly. But the tent caught fire. It gave him time to get off the tent, grab a backpack where he had his passport, money, and nothing else. The tent is on fire, the grass is catching fire, and what you just saw, what happens with wind, is just like what happens, I don't know, it happened in Australia, it happens in California. Wind disperses the fire in every direction from the starting point. By the time he finds a ranger, maybe 2 hours are gone. By the time the ranger tells on the radio to other rangers what is happening and they come to that isolated area, 4 to 6 hours have passed. It took us 35 days to stop the fire. And we lost over 24,000 acres. He never left. He always worked with the rangers to get rid of the fire. He actually sat at the Laguna Amarga entrance with his hands on his head. He could not believe what had happened. The Czechoslovakian Republic sent a lot of money so that we could have firefighters from Argentina coming, military, opening big trenches. And when they open trenches or fire lines, it's very dangerous also for the firefighters themselves. Luckily, there was no human life lost. Sadly, a lot of animal life was lost. January is nesting season. So you can only imagine the amount of birds that lost their chicks. Guanacos losing their babies. There's a certain amount of areas that they can move towards and then they're surrounded by flames. And that year, quickly after the fire was controlled, we started working back immediately because that's the heart of the season, January, where you have the highest amount of passengers. And we were with 4 of my colleagues that were doing W's and base of the towers. We are on a van, we opened the door, and the smell of the burnt part, I still remember we opened and the air just came towards the inside the car, and we were all just completely heartbroken. Anyways, the government changes regulations of use of fire and penalties and fines. 2011 comes along. December 27th, 2011, in the area of the Gray Lake, which is the opposite side of the park, 5 backpackers, this time from Israel, don't want to go to the camping session. They want to open an informal camping site. And these are kids, well, young men, young women that do their military service and then they travel. And they have a lot of skills on surviving extreme conditions. And so what they did was to open through the woods with machetes and find an area where they could set their tents. And they don't cook with gas stoves. What they do is get a hold of tuna cans, oily tuna, you put inside lichen branches, and you spark the fire, and you can cook. You can boil water with 4 of these. You can eat ramen, for instance. 4 tuna cans together, boil water. But the wind finds itself through the forest too. You are sheltered, but you're not 100% protected from a gust. December 27th. So the wind comes, finds the fire, but this is not just fire. This is branches anointed with oil and toilet paper, by the way, that flew in every direction in the driest month of the year. They walk away, they escape, they cannot control the flames, and one of them says, we cannot do this. We have to tell a ranger what happened. We have to let them know that we started a fire and we cannot control it. The rest don't want to do that, but one insists. They find the ranger, they tell him, and the ranger immediately becomes suspicious. And he calls the other rangers, and they are retained in the park because they knew exactly where the fire had begun. And from the official trails, you cannot see the flames. We could see a smoke, but we could not tell exactly what was happening. Anyways, they tried to escape to Argentina through El Calafate, but since they have to do PDI, and through the rangers and the government, the order was already done for them to stay for the investigation, etc. They were retained in Chile. It took us until March 10th, 2012 to stop the fire. The wind. It's the wind that we cannot use helicopters. And the branches, you know, have you heard of or seen this lamps or lanterns where you use fire at the center and they start floating and people use them for celebrations? The park at night was like that. You had flames on the ground and all the pieces of the trees that were removed by the wind in flames looked like those lanterns in the night, falling someplace else, igniting fire someplace else. Over 36,000 acres lost, and the park almost went bankrupt, the hotels. 3 hotels required 2 bank loans each to recover the loss of the season, because no one could come to the park. You would not want to be driving around the park with a guide with flames, you know, and smoke. So, in both cases, people responsible for this had to stay in the country for the investigation because you are innocent until it's proven that you had some sort of responsibility in the fire. After we figured that out, and since Chile is in the group of countries to protect human rights, the families can ask for the time in jail to be served in their countries of origin, and we agreed. We know we lost a lot. We know we had to pay the highest price, but these are not criminals. These are stupid with degrees. These are very, very hormonal 20-something-year-olds that think that they know better. And probably they believe in horizontal relationships with others. The experience is nothing. I know better. And so we agreed that they served in their countries, they left, and they could not re-enter Chile for the next 5 years, which is the time that they have to serve in their countries. Either in jail or signing every so often at a city hall, etc. And this Israeli embassy not only collaborated with a budget to help reforest and help with the firefighters, but what they did was to send volunteers as rangers. And so for a few seasons after, we had rangers from Israel. And so at the entrances of the park, whenever there was an Israel group with backpacks, and they would say, we don't understand Spanish or English, they would come out and say, talk to me now. But you need to know what had been done and how to avoid prejudice and other issues regarding the visits of the Israeli backpackers that do their military service. We had them for a long time, and so far it's been great. Since 2012, we haven't had any issues with the possibilities of fire. And gladly, we have been given the tools needed by the central government. But over 45 people have been deported of Chile for their intentions of using gas stoves and fire in non-authorized areas. So we're stopping for, they're fixing the road in front of us. So they're covering this gravel with this thing, and then they throw water that has, I don't remember what it's, I think it's salt and calcium. So it gives you some, it compacts the road a little bit. So that's what happens. That's what happened. And in all the years in the park, I can tell you that, you know, stupidity knows no nation, color, gender. It happens. It's a moment in the brain, I think, lack of frontal lobe development. I don't know. But this kind of attitudes happen in parks all over the world. It's not just us. And now we're having the selfie accident. And young people with a bright future ahead of them have lost their lives over a selfie. Not only here, we have here Machu Picchu, parks in the United States, Europe, etc. So we're dealing with a moment in life. It's always in people in the 20s, where there's something else. There's this need to prove something, and that's where we focus. So on this side of the park, you have us. We are guides for the city hall that administrates this park. This is why I carry this thing here. And to have one of these credentials, you have to pass a test, and they ask you about rocks and flowers and birds, but also an interview and a test with a ranger. And if they agree, then they give you your credential. We pay a special tax in Cerro Castillo, where you're going to have lunch, and they collect, the rural village collects the tax for the activity that I'm doing, and we're happy to pay. Because my tax goes to that small city hall that has a boarding school, an emergency room, it has a library for the kids that live in the ranches with their families. So this is a very good outcome of us starting to pay taxes. Please just yell. Even if you're not sure, just yell. It might be a fox or it might be a puma. This is her moment. This is her land.
This is it.
This is it.
We have to have our eyes peeled. Moving rocks. That pato, his cunning is so good.
No, nada, no, estaba preguntando si nada.
I am scanning. I am seriously scanning for a puma. Oh, flamingo. Flamingos. Even more in the distance. Yeah, they do look like buoys. I guess we're getting off.
It's a puma! Okay, let's get off. Let's get off the bus.
This is next to the lake. Where do you see her? Shh. Oh, I see her. I see her. I see her.
But you can see her from here. So look at the lake. Look at my position.
Oh my God. This is right there.
You'll see something moving. Look at the grass.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh my God. Oh God. How far away are we looking? The second part of the lake? Let's walk. Do you see it? It's unbelievable. A wild puma.
Can you describe where it is?
Yeah, it's the second bend.
Yes.
By the base of the mountains.
Okay.
You know, like the...
You can see her going on the left.
Can you see her?
No. Is she not put down by the water? She's
This is very tiny. See,
I don't see anything
look.
moving.
Look. It says here.
Way up
You see?
there.
Yeah, here.
Near that black spot?
Yeah. It's tiny and it blends in. You just have to look.
I think I'll look at flamingos instead.
It's puma. It's a puma. How can you look at flamingos?
Where do you see it?
It's someplace. You see, this is the second bend, the first bend and the second bend. This is right in here, right here,
By the water.
by further up towards the foot hills of the.
What I think is if you look at the blackbirds and then you go up like if the blackbirds, if you go up to 12, like maybe.
Wow.
First one, circus.
We should go down and look.
I see 3 pumas. Maybe it's fine. Oh no.
My gosh, but look at the flamingos.
Were you able to see her, Alita?
No, I can't see it.
Oh, that's the time that I
Where
need
is it,
binoculars. No?
Where is it? No?
Let me use those and see if I can find it. Because it was getting closer. Yes.
You think she
But
sat
it
down
was
or
like
something?
You see the second bay, round bay
Yeah.
there? Was about the middle of the bay. No, but I can't see her now.
How on earth
It
can a
must
puma
be
disappear? Yes, it's probably
Yes, in the grass.
crouching.
But you know, did you see Carmen's picture? The one I took for her because she gave me the camera. She couldn't see.
Oh, I don't want to leave. We don't go away. We are leaving. There is a puma in there. Maybe she's hunting.
Yes, that's the issue. This is why we're slowly, because once you see her, then you move your eyes to it.
Oh, I really wish I had binoculars.
La Carmen me pasó su cámara. Le saqué una foto espectacular a la
Still, we can still find another one. Let's yes, because we have a lot of females.
They're saying that they'll find another one. Pumas are so common. Oh God, that was awesome though. Oh my God, that was awesome.
I love how they look at us.
Oh, come on, baby. Come out and say bye. Adios. Thank you. We're taking pictures of a pictures. Just gonna share.
Maybe your iPhone, your phone.
Yeah, let me
Your
try
phone,
this.
not
Let me
the
see.
camera.
May I?
Take.
Mira, José, la foto del.
Oh my God.
Mira.
That is awesome. Luis, you're the best. That's what he's doing.
I know, it's better. I wish I could send it.
So
Let me-
everybody sit down.
Okay.
Because what we want to do is go and stay at the curve a little bit,
Maybe we'll see.
because she hasn't moved
Okay.
from the grass, or he sleeping and hasn't moved from where we were standing. So it might be there
Still there.
But this is their normal morning behavior. Like, oh, they wake up and they say, where did I live? In the grass at around 10 o'clock. But you see, and she's the exact same color as the grass.
I know. There is a puma in here.
You got me.
Oh. Come on, sweetheart.
Where is
Get up.
10 o'clock.
This is probably under the grass, behind the grasses or something.
10, okay. But do you see it?
Do you see the puma now?
No,
No,
I
no,
don't.
we're just taking a betting on.
Do we need a sacrifice to go out?
I'm willing.
We could offer volunteering?
I'm volunteering. I'll go down there with my walking stick.
Metido en el pasto, no se ve nada.
Oh, the duckies are cute.
La buena.
Mucho.
Y quedó ahí.
calidad de...
Lo de la segunda, donde empieza la mancha verde más oscura del pasto.
It's just good. Let's see it.
And look at all the flamingos in the back.
No, no se ve nada. Bueno.
Bueno, yes. Vamos por otro.
No.
Let's see if we find another one, but still, thank you. Even if it's just the tail of the puma, thank you.
We saw the whole puma, not just the tail.
Photograph. Kodak moment.
Well, it's
Yeah.
prayers, that's why.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's male or female. Of course, if we see cubs, it's female. Pumas live alone. They are extremely territorial, and the female pumas only have 2 estril moments within the year. So when they have the estril moment, what they do is emit a sound to let the surrounding males know that they are available for mating. And it's like they go out and they go
We should go.
and she waits. And a male will say, oh, I just heard my name. And they come to their territory, to her territory, but they wait for signals of yes, you're welcome to come into my territory. ¿Qué pasó?
Nada.
Oh. Nada.
Maybe nothing for you guys. They come to her territory, they mate, and he has to go immediately. If he wants to cuddle, she will have a very aggressive, she will, no, go. And she will do the sounds again. Another male will come, and then another male. And she withholds her ovulation for 90 days. And after 90 days, the best sperm will impregnate her with 4 to 6 cubs. And each cub can be from a different male or all from the same male. Pumas reach adult size at month 10 and 11. So after month 12, her cubs are her size. So people say, oh, they live in packs. No, this is mama training her cubs. Mama's role in puma is to make sure that she will not be needed within 2 years. They have a size that allows them to practice hunting, and then they have to be ready to hunt and live without her and defend their own territory. Some documentaries, to help a dramatic story will tell you that she has to protect her cubs from a puma in the night, from a male puma. Not so much so. These pumas live by themselves, and we have more than enough videos on cameras that can hide in rocks and fences that show us that a male won't care for cub presence in this case. It can happen, like in larger cats, that a male will attack and actually eat the younger cubs from another male, but in this case, Puma concolor, it's unusual, it's unlikely. Puma will cross territory just to mate and then go back to their own territory. So the cub is not a threat. What do they eat? What pumas eat? The main diet here is guanaco. Then you have all the geese that you can think of, and then smaller birds, and then you have smaller animals. But guanaco is their main prey. They have such an abundance and diversity of a diet that they live 20 pounds of uneaten animals every single month. Available for whom? Yes, and then condor. So when you hear about the 50-something-year-old condor, we give you a 70, 72, 75-year-old condor. Because pumas have so much space. And we have the highest density of puma in all of the Americas. We know that in the United States, there's 2 pumas per square kilometer of their own habitat. We have 5 per habitat. So the fact that we are small cities and we have these huge ranches where animals commune with the ranch activity is positive for them. It was legal for many decades to hunt pumas if they were eating your sheep. Not anymore. So in the price of production of lamb, they include the cost of puma presence in the ranch. We pay for their protection. It's in the price. Does that make sense? Yeah. They live about 14 years. These guys are taking pictures of something. And I don't think they're taking pictures of the trees. No te van a decir nada. Y además están metidos donde no tienen que estar. You know,
Yeah, they're
with the
waiting.
camera.
And they probably don't want a whole group of people disturbing the puma. That was such an unexpected gift. I didn't really think that we would see one. He's still scanning.
Para dejarlo ahí paralizado.
Entonces fueron para allá, ¿ves?
Look at that one apple waiting there.
Moderado, pero no lento, porque no quiero atrasar.
Sí, porque van a ir despacito, ¿verdad?
Sí, porque vienen.
Que uno no sabe por último si el gato se asusta, se enoja, que cachete para ir a escondernos a los autos.
Awesome.
Impresionante. Pero ahí igual la voy a repartir, pero bueno, no sé qué tan buena salió la foto. Y lo vi así.
Salió bueno. Y el adjetivo.
The people of a restaurant for lunch, right? So take your passports, because from the restaurant over here, we walk to the other building next door to do police and all that, right?
Wow.
Apparently go this way and upstairs with it.
Chaos down there. Nice quiet up here. Thank you.
These are made in Santiago.
They're Chilean apple juice. Do you guys have apples here?
In central Chile.
Ah, thank you. Do you have olives?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Best olive oil. Yeah.
Wow. It was wonderful. Look at the napkin holder.
We have a hot dog plate.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yes. Here.
We have ours.
What is it? It's really good.
It's go sour.
but it's in a
Pre-mixed.
Pre-mixed.
It was, yeah.
Chilean wine. Chardonnay. We've been getting so much wine on this trip. The soup is coming. Oh, that looks good.
That's a hearty soup.
Wow. Oh my God. Awesome. Gracias. Oh wow. Looks looks so good. Is that carrot? Oh, squash. That's what he said, yeah. I like the corn.
It's all the...
Wow, very simple, like you said.
Yeah.
But it looks delicious. It smells awesome.
We had had like
I didn't say pepper.
they have one down.
That in there, I don't know if it's spicy.
Yeah, I like that.
Wonderful soup and a nice healthy dessert.
Compare this to yesterday.
That was a great meal. Really interesting stuff. Oh, how adorable. Oh, look at that. For kids. Oh, adorable. They're so nice. Oh. Put it on, come on. I've been looking for something like that all my life. Oh my God, that actually looks adorable, I have to say. Not the way you had it before.
Oh, this way's better?
With a little tail going up.
Haven't you been looking for a whale hat, Larry?
I've been looking to see a whale. Like that.
I'm gonna buy this one. It's beautiful. Look at this. Oh wow. That is cool. It's the real thing. I didn't realize that they had spares like this. Wow. Okay. Gracias, señor.
She went outside.
Okay, so I have the last words, and actually I'm going to read something I read already. But I read this when we first met. And as I said, welcome, I want to say farewell.
Oh.
And maybe now that we experienced Torres del Paine, it might have a different meaning. Dust if you must, but wouldn't it be better to paint a picture or write a letter, bake a cake or plant a seed? Ponder the difference between want and need. Dust if you must, but there's not much time. With rivers to swim and mountains to climb, books to read and music to hear, friends to cherish and life to lead. Dust if you must, but the world is out there, with the sun in your eyes, the wind in your hair, a flutter of snow, a shower of rain. This day will not come around again. Dust if you must, but bear in mind, old age will come, and it's not kind. And when you go, and go you must, you yourself will just make more dust.
That was awesome. Very nice.
Thank you for all these days together, for the laughter, the questions, the poetry, for every single moment. My hope is that someday, out of nowhere, you remember that nyandus or rheas swallow rocks, or you see that movie Jurassic Park, and that moment with the little pebbles and the sick dinosaur takes you back to Torres del Paine. Or you see a toaster and you look at the toast, the burnt toast in your house, and you say, oh, Maria told me that that dark rock was toasted by magma. And if you don't remember anything, my hope is that you're just happy when you think of South Patagonia. That's all. I wish you all of you, the best. And I want to say that you could not have chosen a better moment to visit this place. I hope it stays somewhere in your hearts in your journals, and that you spread the joy of taking care of nature and people with your family and your friends. We will say goodbye when we switch buses, and I'm looking forward to shake your hands or give you a hug before you go. I know what comes ahead is only amazingly beautiful, and you're gonna have the best company, and for sure you have a place in my heart for all the rest of the season. And thank you, Luis, for the opportunity to work like this with freedom to get inspiration as the day goes by. This is not what, there's a word for this. This is not things that come at the last moment, but you have to choose from so many possibilities to offer you the best. And that puma today, oh my goodness.
I know.
Even if you saw just a little bit of the tail, you saw people's reactions and cars stopping. And the one out was on the first day. Hundreds of them. And the condors. Ooh, so many memories. So later, in a few more minutes, we said goodbye. Just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
It has.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yes. Good job.
Just Ria. I haven't seen Ria.
Mira, está lleno. Está lleno. On the right. Look on the right.
Oh, where? We passed them? No, right there.
You're right. There's a
Oh, how nice.
They're often in crossword puzzles.
Oh, look at that.
They are.
Sí.
There they
Sí,
are.
¿le pagaron ahí? Sí, yo estaba ahí. Me pagaron
Oh, wow.
Se lo pagaron a...
Be careful.
We are.
Be careful. We're
Okay,
gonna move.
he can go.
Despacito. Sí, no se metieron.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go.
Vamos despacito.
Juan Carlos, se lo pagaron a la Anaís. Se estaba mandando.
I'm holding.
Ellos se fueron a la otra caja enfrente.
Yo los llevé.
Lo llevó la
Wow. I don't think I had seen Ria.
Creo que se lo
Ahora tenemos que esperar que nos den el ok para...
Am I in your picture?
No, it's fine. You can go. You can sit down. Oh, there are more.
Folks, we are very close
They're
to
running.
to come to the real divide between the two countries,
Yeah.
right? And one thing you will notice, and I think we Chilean people did it on purpose, you see how nice this highway is? This is a great road. It's a brand new road, you see? As soon as we enter Argentina, there's no more pavement. That was very mean. That was very mean. Purposely done, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Maybe not.
But look, it says end of the pavement in 300 meters. Don't say we didn't tell you, something like that. Because people tend to speak here. Here, the division is the end of the pavement, and the right and left of the road
That's it.
has a fence. That is the border.
That's the border.
That
We're
is
crossing the border. We just crossed the
Yes,
border.
now I am in Argentina and Harvard is still in Chile. Now, is it? That's it. That's all. It tells you, I'm sure, about this beautiful, beautiful sense of unity that Patagonians have. Both sides. There's nobody
that.
makes a difference between Argentinian Patagonians or Chilean Patagonians. They are the same. Then can you imagine how crazy it was to try to put these people to fight a war in the 70s?
It is
Remember?
crazy.
It was crazy. You see, because that's all the division they need. And that's it. So, folks, in a short time from now, there's I don't know, not even half a mile ahead of us, there is a small building that is the Argentinian police station. It takes a little bit longer. It took us exactly 10 minutes to check everybody out here in the Chilean position. So here it's a little bit slower.
Beautiful horses, huh?
¿Quién hace eso?
¿Dónde va la agradecida? La oficina de Santiago, ¿no? ¿Va la agradecida?
Totally different terrain.
Ya se fue la
Ah. And that was it. 5 minutes. Not even 1 minute. And we're gonna have to say goodbye to Pato.
I can't believe I didn't get a blanket. If they had had a blanket, I would have got a blanket on the side.
I don't know what the other two were.
We'll just move to the next and with a lot of safety. And no hands, no hands.
Stand up.
Muchas gracias. Outstanding work. Right? Overcast. The tons of new information that we carry. Right? Gracias.
Muchas gracias. And that down there is our new bus, our Argentinian bus. New group.
Make sure you don't leave anything here.
Oh, look at that. The amigos. Oh, we're gonna miss them. They moved all the luggage from one bus to the other.
Nancy, do you see a garbage can up there?
Hola. And let's wait.
Bye.
All the way back to Chile. All the same thing again.
Oh my God. Did they have to go through customs?
Do they have to go through customs? Yes, that's why I have oranges, because I cannot go back with oranges. You see, there was a banana peel. I had to take it here because I cannot cross the border with even a banana peel.
But they came from Chile.
They came from Chile, but they will never believe it. Chilean people are difficult to cope with. Very difficult people.